You know that exhausting feeling when your days just seem like a nonstop series of reactions to whatever life happens to throw at you? If you're feeling like you're just spinning your wheels lately, today we are going to fix that. We're looking at some truly brilliant insights from Steve Chandler's work on motivation, and specifically how we can completely transform our trajectory by doing something shockingly simple, advertising our goals to ourselves. Okay, let's dive into this.
So, picture this for a second. You're boarding a flight for a vacation you've been waiting for all year. You walk onto the plane, but right before you take your seat, you decide to just poke your head into the cockpit. You look right at the pilot and enthusiastically say, "Hey, just take me anywhere." Sounds completely absurd, right? Obviously, you'd never in a million years tell a highly trained pilot to just fly blindly without a specific destination in mind.
But honestly, living without checking our goals is exactly like that pilot flying blind. When we don't actively consult our own internal map, we can easily go an entire week, or maybe even 2 or 3, without giving a single thought to our main goals in life. Instead of proactively pursuing our true purpose, we get totally caught up in reacting to other people, responding to random circumstances, and basically just letting the wind blow us wherever it pleases. We literally forget to navigate.
To understand why this happens, we kind of have to look at how our brains process focus. Sports psychologist Rob Gilbert actually made a really stark observation about the fundamental difference between how winners and losers direct their minds. He noted that losers naturally tend to visualize the penalties of failure, while winners proactively visualize the rewards of success. So, if you aren't intentionally showing your brain the rewards of where you want to go, it defaults to worrying about everything that could possibly go wrong.
Now, in motivation seminars, the absolute #1 excuse people give is that they simply do not have time for goal setting. But Steve Chandler introduces this incredibly simple daily routine for orienting the mind that completely destroys that excuse. It's called the 4-minute habit.
So here's how Chandler's 4-circle system works. To start his day, he literally just takes a blank piece of paper and draws 4 circles. He labels them today, month, year, and life. Inside each circle, you simply write down what you want in that specific time frame. It could be a dollar figure, a career move, a relationship goal, the whole shebang. And the best part? The goals can change from day to day, and there's absolutely no way to get this wrong. The simple physical act of writing them down is you, the pilot, consulting the map right before takeoff.
And we can actually scale up this daily habit to make it even more permanent. There's this practice known as treasure mapping. Treasure mapping is simply posting pictures of what you want in life somewhere highly visible, like in your office or your house. It takes the whole concept of the 4 circles and turns it into this constant visual advertisement to leverage the immense power of our subconscious mind.
Now, what's really fascinating here is the science of why this works so brilliantly. Your subconscious mind is incredibly powerful, sure, but it's also quite literal. It only communicates with vividly imagined or real pictures. So, it will not seek out or try to bring into your life anything that it cannot physically picture. If you aren't giving your mind an image to work with, it simply has no target to aim for.
To show you how powerful this is in reality, Chandler shares this amazing story from one of his workshops. There was a young couple who had wanted to buy their own home for years, but they just couldn't seem to get the money together. After learning about treasure mapping, they figured, hey, let's try it. They found a picture of the exact kind of new house they dreamed of owning and stuck it right on their refrigerator. And next to that photo, they put a little thermometer that they would physically fill in as their savings toward a down payment grew. Every single day, they were advertising their goal to themselves right there in the kitchen. And here is the incredible result. In less than 9 months of focused treasure mapping, they achieved what they hadn't been able to do for years. They made the down payment and moved into their new home. That is the sheer power of giving your subconscious a clear, vivid picture to actually chase. Chandler actually experienced the power of this technique himself, what we can call the goal board effect. He wanted to do more fundraising seminars, so he put up a white poster board on the wall of his bedroom. Now, it wasn't some pristine, perfect piece of art. It was this messy, chaotic board covered in a hodgepodge of photos and index cards with his goals scribbled on them. The point was simply to have those ambitions right in front of him when he woke up each morning, even if he only spent a minute or two glancing at it. And among all the clutter on that goal board, there was one specific index card. Written on it in bold marker were just 3 letters, ASU, Arizona State University. He put it up there because he thought, it would be great to give his seminars there, especially living in the Phoenix area. It was barely noticeable among all the other photos, and he admits he barely even registered it each morning. He just put it up and honestly thought nothing more of it.
But let's look at how this serendipity actually unfolded.
Day 1, he puts ASU on the board. Weeks later, he's at work and is asked to meet a new employee named Jerry. They're chatting for a few minutes, and Jerry casually mentions his parents live in town and his mom works at ASU. Now, normally Chandler would have totally ignored this. ASU is huge out there. But his ears perked up. He asked what she did. Well, turns out she's the chief administrative assistant to the development director at the ASU Foundation. That's the exact department in charge of university fundraising. Within a month, ASU fundraisers were actually attending Chandler's seminar.
So, the absolutely crucial point here is this. Without that daily visual primer, Jerry's casual mention of ASU would have gone completely unnoticed. Chandler honestly believes it would have flown right past him. But because he advertised that goal to himself every single morning, his mind was primed and ready to recognize a hidden opportunity the second it materialized in casual conversation.
So, how do we put all of this into practice? First, you must actively advertise your goals to yourself. Honestly, if you don't market your ambitions to your own brain, no one else is going to do it for you. Second, use this internal map to stop reacting to circumstances. Stop letting the day dictate your actions. And finally, direct your psychic energy. Without a practice like this, our energy gets spread way too thin across a wide spectrum of things that simply aren't that important to us.
Which brings us to our final thought for you to ponder today. What are you advertising to your subconscious tomorrow morning? Are you going to wake up and immediately start reacting to your phone, your emails, and whatever the world throws at you? Or are you going to grab a piece of paper, draw 4 circles, or look at a goal board and set your own map? I challenge you to try the 4-circle system immediately upon waking up tomorrow. Give your subconscious the picture it needs and watch the opportunities start to appear. Thanks for tuning into this explainer. Keep your map updated, and I'll see you next time.